you do have a lot of family. I mean, like I know everyone in Alderney is kind of, and this isn't when we're not that kind of island, but everyone's related to somebody in a weird way.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it nice that you've all kind of come back, this way?
Well, it was my grandfather who emigrated from Jersey to Australia in 1951 with my mother.
Oh, right. So he was
Yes.
a Jersey born or a
Yeah,
Jersey
I
boy.
I go back in Jersey 4 generations. I've got my great-grandfather's Jersey passport,
Wow.
and what's the name? I've forgotten his name. Leo Hellier Woodnut.
Hold a second. What? Hellier Woodnut?
Yeah.
The Helliers and the Woodnuts out there freaking out right now.
And his younger brother, Walter Woodnut, came back from Australia and instead of going back to Jersey, came to Alderney. So many people will know Alan and Sarah Woodnut. They're technically my mother's cousins, but we just say we're cousins because we're more the same age.
That's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just what I love about this island is that, we are. I mean, is it harder now for you as a politician? Because now you've got your own family members telling you about their problems as well as everyone else. I mean, like, did you really think that you were going to get involved in politics when you came back to live here?
No, it wasn't my intention. When I first came here, it was quite a rapid decision. I didn't even intend to. I came to a Woodnut wedding, Jojo Woodnut's wedding in 2021, and I hadn't been in Alderney for a number of years. I'd come for different parties and different family connections over the years. I was living in London for 20 years, and and that got me 2021. It was just after COVID. My mother had passed away, who'd been living near me in the UK, and my son was at uni, I was divorced, and I kind of thought after COVID, I'd had in my head where I lived, I had a lovely house, I'd just renovated it. I just, got the internet there, fastest internet in the UK, which I'd taken 4 years to pioneer to get, and then came to this wedding after COVID. So, and I just looked in Alderney in a different way. My mother always wanted to come back and live here, um, and I always said, "Oh, what do you wanna go there for?" Like, "Mum," like, "Ugh," and I didn't see it in the way that I saw it when I came back here in 2021, which was because I'd lived in Surrey, and I thought during COVID, it was you couldn't easily get to anywhere, and although I had a nice area a place where I was living, if I wanted to walk to the shops or a coffee shop or the post office, it was 40 minutes through the woods because I lived on the top of Pitch Hill. Um, and it meant that you had to get in a car and you had to rely on the car to go to somewhere. And I remember thinking, do you know what? When I'm older, I really don't want to have to rely on other people at all or rely on having to drive. Because at that point, my mother was not able to drive anymore. And I thought, gosh, she's dependent on me. I really don't want to be dependent on somebody when I'm older.
Mm.
So I started thinking, well, I want to go somewhere. And I thought, Cornwall, Scotland, Wales, somewhere I was thinking, and I'm quite independent, quite happy to be on my own. And so I got in the car after COVID when you could go out and drove to all of those places. I knew Scotland fairly well, but I went to Wales and I went to Cornwall and I was thinking, oh yeah. So then I go to this wedding in Alderney and I suddenly thought, oh, what about Alderney instead? So after the wedding, in the first 2 weeks of September of 21, I came back here with a view to looking at properties for the future, for 5 years down the track.
Mm. Not as soon as you
No,
thought.
no, and then what happened was it was 2 days I was here. The first day I saw about 14 houses. It was just all about getting an idea, and I thought, "Oh, yeah, okay." And I was looking at something quite small. In fact, I even looked at a shop on Victoria Street that had a flat, and I thought, "Oh, I could rent out the shop." And I was thinking very kind of, you know, small. And then on the second day, on the way back to the airport, and the agent said he would drop me at the airport, but he had to stop by somewhere to, excuse me, um, turn on the heating, I think it was, because someone was coming for their second visit of this other house in in Alderney, someone coming from Guernsey. So he said, "Oh, you can wait in the car." And I said, "Oh, can I come in and have a look?" So I went in and I just went in the house and I went, "This is the house. I love it. I
I'll
just
take
love
it.
it." Well, I
Wow.
didn't know if I could take it.
Yeah, of course. I mean,
But, it was just one of those powerful feelings you get. Oh my god, I didn't have that
mm.
feeling with any other house. It was much bigger than I was expecting
It's a
or
beautiful
even
house, though.
planning. So I essentially went home that night knowing that these people from Guernsey were coming, and if it was the second viewing, they might
They might take
purchase it.
it.
So I said to, my son, and he said, "Oh, change is good, mum." I said to my auntie, she knew Alderney, so she said, "I think it's a good
Go for it.
go for it." Yeah, and my best friend in Australia, who's known me, she's like my sister since I was 14, she said, "You know, your whole life you've made very fast decisions, just like that. But they've always turned out well." So she said, "Go for it." So I did, and that's how I ended up here.